Okay. Give me 1 second. Let me open this up really fast. Sorry. Oh boy, this is nerve-wracking to say the least. Let's see. Okay. All right. So, good afternoon, everyone. I would like to call to order the Springs Unified School District Equity Committee meeting. Today is Monday, December 18th, 2023. Roll call, please.
We have Executive Director, Superintendent of School, Dr. Signore. We have Dr. Nicole Crawford. Dr. Simone Kovach. Here. Board Member Urban.
Here.
And then we have Board Member Espericueta absent today.
Okay, so can I get an approval of the agenda?
I move for approval.
A second.
Do I have a second?
Somebody already seconded it?
I did.
Okay.
No, you're the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. The motion passes unanimous. Okay, we have public comments next. Was item 3. Have we received any electronic comments?
We have not received any electronic comments.
Okay. Is there anyone who would like to give oral comments?
We do not have anybody.
All right. So we'll continue to move on to item 4A, the Diversity and Racial Equity Update Report. Equity Lead, you can go ahead and take over.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Please watch your eyes. I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen. And if you can give me a thumbs up if you're able to see it. Thank you, thank you. So I am Dr. Nicole Crawford, and I wanted to offer up our diversity and racial equity updates for the months of September to December. So of course, I always want to start off by acknowledging the land that we reside on, and I'd like to thank the Cahuilla Band of Indians for allowing us to be here. They are the original stewards of this land. They have been here since time immemorial, and we thank them for allowing our facilities to reside on their land. I also like to show our equity statement just to kind of highlight what we truly stand for as a district. Some things that really stand out to me is that we practice an equitable and socially just educational system. We serve and honor our diverse student population, and we commit to being both an anti-racist and anti-discriminatory learning community. And of course, we honor and serve our students every day. So with that, I have a slightly jam-packed agenda. I just wanted to go over some updates and announcements. So we'll review the DRE specialists coming on board starting next month. We'll review the conference that took place in September. I'll discuss the Student Equity Conference with Riverside County of Education, any updates with our HBCU and HSI College and Culture tours, the Anti-Racism Coalition meeting that we held, updates for our conscious education training, also our updates for our safe school training with Dr. Vincent Pompey, Nicole Anderson and consulting's trainings with Kevin Taylor, and any upcoming events. Just want to pause there. Any questions about the agenda before we continue? Looks good. All right, let's jump into it. So first, I'm very pleased to announce that, yay, I'll be getting 2 specialists starting in January. They are both bilingual. One is an in-district hire and one is out-of-district hire. One identified male, one identified female. Very excited to have them on board, and they're ready to hit the ground running. So that they're going to just bring great energy, and I'm excited. The next update I wanted to highlight is we had our Diversity and Racial Equity Conference on September 30th. It was at the Palm Springs Convention Center. Our theme for this year was Racial Healing and Resilience. We had almost 400 attendees, including parents. We had a student panel, lots of PSUSD employees, and community members as well. We had, again, as I mentioned, a student panel. We had 1 student from each of our comprehensive high schools, as well as students from our alt ed as well. We had 2 breakout sessions throughout the day. We had community sponsors there throughout the event, and we also had booths for attendees to visit while they were at the premises. It was an amazing time. I know a lot of people had so many fantastic things to say about it, and I'm really excited to start planning next year's event. Here's some photos of the event. On the upper left-hand side, that's some of our beautiful Palm Springs Unified students at the student panel when they were discussing their experiences. On the bottom right is our beautiful facilitators. We had two to four facilitators per breakout room. On the upper right-hand side is just kind of a pie graph showing in order for racial healing to start and to continue, these are some of the steps that we had to take place and had to kind of discuss. And on the bottom left-hand side, we want to shift from the pyramid of hate to the pyramid of love. And that's some of the work we did. Any questions, comments, concerns? No? Okay. Here's an amazing video I'm very excited to share. This was created by our media specialist, Marian Bouchot, to promote our equity conference.
We had to
Can you
create
hear
an
it?
environment where people felt open and safe to open up and share their stories. And from there, it took a life of its own.
It was our second annual Diversity and Racial Equity Conference. This year's theme focused on racial healing and resilience. Hope was that people would kind of grow and be able to connect with each other one-on-one on a team level.
I think it was like kind of fun to be with the representation of my culture and my identity and like what I believe race is and racial identity is.
We organized a student panel to hear from student voice.
So I think it's gonna help them teach more about other people's races and what their culture actually is rather than like leading to racial stereotypes, and it's gonna help a lot of people believe in racial equality.
It's important for other people to understand like students' point of views because they can learn. But I feel like that student panel, you were able to learn from that culture because the students were openly sharing their experiences, how they grew up with that culture. And I think it was very, very deep.
It's a good kind of discomfort, right? That ability to expect comfort is not an ability or an expectation that everybody may enjoy.
It's all about growing. This is the journey, not a race. And we're all trying to live to become better people. And I think this is a wonderful step in the right direction.
We don't just say that we strive to create and foster and develop a more equitably and socially just work environment for our employees and a school environment for our students, but that we will allocate money to make sure and time to make sure that those things can happen.
Palm Springs Unified School District is, starting to talk about these issues. And I think that our students will definitely benefit from it in the long run. For those of you who do not see the value of such work, I challenge you to just come and see what it's about. And then afterward, if you're not moved to action, then so be it. But at least you were open-minded enough as educators, community members, parents, students to come in and see what it is that we're trying to do here at Palm Springs Unified School District.
I'm always so excited when I see that video. Any questions before I move on to the Student Equity Conference? No? Okay. So I'm very pleased to announce.
Nicole, I
Charlie,
have
go
a
ahead.
quick question.
Sure.
Did you have on there any attendees that were present? I didn't see that.
I'm sorry, say it one more time.
I didn't see anything. Do you have the amount of attendees that attended the event?
Yes, I discussed earlier, there was almost 400 attendees present.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. So Riverside County of Education held their first Student Equity Conference. They invited 4 school districts, and we were lucky enough to be one of the 4 invited to participate. The event kicked off as a large group summit where all 4 districts were together, and then we were able to go into breakout sessions after. Our kids had such a good time. They really enjoyed themselves. It is geared toward our junior class. And it kind of broke my heart because the kids are like, I want to go next year as a senior. And I'm like, oh, we'll see if we can, because they had such a good time just meeting people from, the Riverside County. And they made some bonds and some friendships, and it was I was so proud of our kids after that. I wanted to include a couple photos of our babies as well. That was in the breakout session. We had our kids coming up and they were doing spoken word poetry and reporting out and sharing, and they were just so amazing. They make my heart so happy every time I see our kids doing stuff like that. So 36 of our babies attended. It was such a great time. Some updates about our historically Black colleges and universities and our Hispanic serving institution tours. We had our first combined meeting on Wednesday, December 6th. Kids were able to meet each other, learn who was going on which trip, able to identify each other. We were able to build community. We played multiple games, name bingo. We played a numbers game just to start kind of having that icebreaker, because you know how it is with the kids coming together sometimes maybe a little awkward or they're a little shy. So for them to come together and discuss where they're from and which high schools they attend and how they have common interests, it was great. We also started reviewing some pertinent information about the tours. So we did go over all the lists of recommended packing items, as well as how to behave in the airport, how to properly get onto an airplane, identify their seats, etiquette, stuff like that. So it was a good time, both meeting people, building those relationships, and a learning experience combined. Questions, concerns? No? Okay. There's some photos of our kids. I'm telling you, I have good feelings, such good kids. They're so sweet. So I'm really excited to take them on the tour next year. So we had our second ARC, our Anti-Racism Coalition meeting on November 8th. We specifically dove into chronic absenteeism information. So we reviewed that data and we had smaller breakout room discussions based on that. We also talked about specifically the themes within the data, some possible barriers for students, and what we can do better as a unified school district. We also had a guest speaker to kind of wrap things up to honor Indigenous Peoples Month. We had Christina Alanis, who is a PSUSD teacher, present, and she was able to teach us about the Indigenous peoples within the Southern California area, her family's history, and some steps that we can take to support our Indigenous kiddos in the classroom. So I'll pause there really quick. I'm gonna exit out of the screen and go back into slideshow sharing. Any questions, comments, concerns? It was a great meeting. We have another one next month, I believe, right, Simone?
Yeah, February 7th.
Yes, February 7th. So we're planning already. And we will have Miss Joy Cox as our guest speaker for that month. So very excited. She's so passionate. She's amazing. Some updates as well for our conscious education training. So since the beginning of the 23-24 school year, we have had 7 conscious education trainings for our staff. We have 21 sessions still being offered starting in January. And I'm really pleased to announce we are also hosting 2 Spanish speaking sessions. The first session is in April, on April 6th and April 13th. And the second session is in June, on June 22nd and June 29th. So I'm really pleased about this because, again, we're trying to be as inclusive as possible, including any language barriers that some of our employees may face, and they may be more comfortable discussing and dialoguing in their primary language. So, which is why we decided to offer 2 courses for Spanish speakers. And some updates with our LGBTQ Safe Schools training. So Dr. Pompey has successfully completed all of his 101 introductory level courses at all of our PSUSD sites. He has also had 2 trainings with our equity leads. He's had 2 trainings with our mental health therapists, district leadership, our school nurses, our psychologists, and our counselors as well. He has also offered for this year 2 town hall sessions thus far for all parents and guardians, and he will be meeting with our PSUSD board on Tuesday, February 13th in a roundtable discussion. Pausing for questions, comments? No? Okay. So updates with Nicole Anderson's consulting firm. We have been working with Kevin Taylor in particular So our conscious education team and our equity leads have attended 2 trainings thus far with Kevin Taylor on September 23rd and on December 9th. We worked collaboratively in groups. We participated in multiple discussions, and we're just learning more things that we can continue to add to our equity toolkit, just different skills. We are aware that since this is a mandatory training, that we want to, be the best possible facilitators. So going over different skills, different tools and techniques we should have was very important. And we are hoping to schedule one more training with Kevin either in February or mid-March. So we're working with him to kind of decide what date we can do that with. But it's been a great time so far. And I think that our teams feel much more equipped to handle sometimes some difficult conversations. And some upcoming events, so mark your calendars, everyone. We have the Black College Expo coming up. That will be on February 10th for all of our high school kiddos. We're specifically looking toward 10th, 11th, and 12th graders. So later this week, I will already start sending out the information to all of our kids and their parents. We also will be hosting Taste of Soul in DHS, specifically at Desert Hot Springs High School on February 23rd, which is a Friday. And the Black History Committee's parade is on February 24th, Saturday, in downtown Palm Springs. Our college and culture tours will take place at the end of March and early April. And finally, our multicultural festival will be taking place on May the 4th at the Palm Springs Air Museum. This is just going to be a great way to close off the year and celebrate the uniqueness and the beauty and the diversity of our population here for Palm Springs Unified. So that is it. I will stop sharing my screen. Please watch your eyes. Questions, comments, concerns? I did that great, no?
Yeah, Nicole, I was just curious. I think you mentioned, maybe I missed it, the Black College Expo on February 10th.
Yes.
Where is that?
The LA Convention Center.
At the LA Convention.
LA Convention Center. So I'll be sending out information to students this week along with their parents and continuing to do weekly reminders just to get up to 70 of our kids to attend.
Okay, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Thank you.
Of course.
Any other questions? Anyone? Okay, thank you for your presentation. You did a wonderful job.
Thank you.
Thank
Oh,
you
board
for
member
the-
Everin, before I forget, I know last time we met, you did ask for some data. Can you give, just because I want to make sure I'm really prepared, can you give me more specific information about the data sets you would like for me to review? Because I know we talked about like chronic absenteeism, suspension, but then we talked about academics, and I'm not sure what specifically you were looking for, so I could start pulling some information for our next meeting.
It could just be basic math. I think we have, what do we have, stars?
Star testing.
Yeah, so maybe
Okay.
if you can pull up some math numbers and just some English language learners as well. Some of those surveys that they have available that shows where our kids are reading at the level. And if you can break it down into racial categories, that would be fine.
Sure. Awesome. Thank you.
And then grades as well, so. And then, so that's about it. Is there anything else that you have any other questions for me, Nicole?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
All right, so is there any other members or any staff that have any other questions? I can't see you guys, so is that a yes?
No, sorry.
Not for me, Charlie.
Okay.
No.
All righty, so next will be the board member comments, and since it's only me, I don't have any comments. I just want to tell you thank you for a wonderful job. You guys do a whole lot of work, and it doesn't go unnoticed. And thank you guys for your hard work. And the next item will be approval of the minutes. Can we get a motion to approve the minutes for the September 18th, 2023 meeting?
Before we approve, can I just note just the spelling of Dr. Crawford's last name on the minutes, if we can update that?
Okay,
Okay.
all right, so
In
we'll
the
make that
body.
adjustment. Go ahead, Erica. Did someone say anything?
I just
Oh,
said
no, she was just saying in the body.
in the body of the minutes.
Okay, sounds good. So if we make that adjustment, can we get a motion to approve?
I approve.
All right, can we get a second?
I second.
So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, that motion passes. So next we'll have item 7, setting of the next meeting. Our next committee meeting will be held December 18th. Oh, wait. All right.
I didn't pull that date from the script, sorry, it's TBD.
Yeah.
I have a list of dates.
When
So
is the next,
sorry. I can
when is the next meeting gonna be?
today.
Oh, okay. All right, so,
We do have tentative dates, but, Board Member Urban, what I can do is I can email them to you and Sergio as well to make sure that Sergio is available. We might have to move the time, maybe even the date, depending on his work schedule. So our next tentative date is March 11th. But
Okay.
I'll reach out to see if that works and if that works for Sergio as well, and if there needs to be any modifications to that before we set the next date.
okay, so we just put that motion on hold, that item on hold until the next meeting?
Yes, we can
Or
do
we'll
that.
put a tentative date, or how we do that? Just,
We'll reach out as soon as, I'm gonna email both you and Sergio, and then once we have a final date, then I'll let the rest of the committee know, and we can post that ahead of time.
okay, so we'll just leave that there. And if we don't have anyone else, any other comments, we'll adjourn the meeting today at 3:33. Is there anyone else that has any comments or anything?
No.
All righty, so we'll adjourn the meeting at 3:33. Can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I approve to adjourn the meeting. Motion.
All right, so everyone have a wonderful holiday. You guys enjoy. And I
You
look forward to
too.
seeing you guys at the next meeting.
Awesome.
All
Thank
right,
you, everyone.
likewise, Charlie. Take care. Thanks for joining us.
Okay,
Bye.
good night.
All right, bye.